Re4 VR is here. David, I'm so glad that you're stopping by for this. I was hoping you would
Yes,
be.
sir. I would not miss it.
I actually meant to message you, so thank you for reading my mind.
You're absolutely welcome, Blake. Hey, we've been simpatico lately, man. I'm ordering some graphic novels. We're thinking about Resident Evil 4. I'm always thinking about Resident Evil 4, though, so that's not really too difficult to.
David, come to watch my Resident Evil stream.
That's right.
Yay!
Hell
Just
yeah.
throwing the gun up and down.
This is not proper gun handling.
All right, TJ. Do like I do and juggle the knife and the pistol between opposite hands.
I'm not revolver ocelot level yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. That's the key word.
And even you can even switch.
Oh god. It's like a circus act.
You know what I do? This game makes me feel like a badass. Whenever I'm done clearing out enemies, I just throw my weapons aside, knowing that they'll reattach to my body. I'm like, I don't even need this shit anymore. I'm out of here.
That's good. Is this the beginning of the game, or is this like partway through?
This is the
beginning.
Right here. It's just this crow has a grenade in it, which is why you kill that crow, so you can get the grenade.
So, for the folks at home watching this, TJ, the locomotion in this game is thumbstick based or teleport based?
It's thumbstick based, but you can also teleport based.
Okay.
And that's
I figure a lot of people watching this are probably have not seen this.
So this is worth talking about because this is something I've kind of been banging the drum on.
Oh yeah.
Because you can set it to different.
Yes.
Modes.
So many different options in this game. Like, for example, TJ, when he turns with the thumbstick, it kind of goes at certain predetermined angles. I think it's like it's 75 degree by default, snap to look. Yeah. I have smooth on. So, like, you can, in this game, you can do stuff that the original RE4 never intended you to do. Like, you can fully circle strafe around enemies, which gives you a pretty huge advantage over them because they're not designed to deal with that.
Yeah. That's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Taking Bob, you can.
I like that there's a height setting because
yes,
a lot of the time in VR, I'm too tall for how the games are programmed, and with the HMD being on your head, it becomes an issue when it comes to tracking. So, telling the game how tall you are, it seems like that would help with the immersion aspect.
For sure.
That's cool.
I do not like camera shake. That is one of the things that messes with me.
Yeah, camera shake in VR is not great.
So,
I wouldn't imagine.
Your pistol down here on your right hip. You have ammo down here on your left hip.
Mm-hmm.
Your knife is right here on your left side of your chest. Mm-hmm. If you have a healing item, it's over your left shoulder. And then you have a grenade right the right side of your chest. And if you had a two-handed weapon, it would be over your right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing is if you do sitting, it like actually readjusts those controls, make it much easier to reach that stuff. So instead of having it down here on your hip, you have this button right to draw your pistol, and then you have here to draw your ammo.
Are you playing standing or seated?
I'm playing standing, but I just wanted to show because I really like how they did that.
I'll be right back.
And I can definitely I can definitely see the inside out tracking at work here. It's
I think it comes across worse in a stream because like I don't have any of that choppiness.
It's not even the stream, David. It comes across bad in any gameplay capture from the Quest. It's the frames per second being pushed in front of your eyes is better than what is captured.
That's exactly it.
So that's an issue. But no, like just the tracking. I don't know. I've attended every Oculus Connect convention before they killed the brand, and after the keynotes that Carmack would give, he would hold court in the hall.
Right.
And I talked to him about occlusion in the Quest sensors. And I was like, why not just put some sensors on the back of the head? Don't you think that would help with it? And he was like, yep. And it's mainly due to costs and just counterbalancing issues, right? Because the headset is pretty well counterbalanced now.
It is, yeah.
But you add more weight to the back of it. Also, you'd have to change the head strap to do it. So it would maybe be a more rigid headset like the PSVR instead of like that more fabric-y kind of ball cap sort of back that it currently has. But yeah, I think that's like one of the major things that they could do is maybe add 2 or 3 sensors to the back of the device.
That's how Shake all of its glory comes back for nitpickers around the world.
Okay, so they kept the inventory screen the same.
They did. Now, if TJ looks down, you can see that there's an overspill area so that you can actually put items in there while you're rearranging things in the attaché case. Yeah. So one thing that doesn't come across in capture is the graphics. You might be thinking, wow, this looks like the game from 2005, but when you're wearing the HMD, it looks a lot better. It's nothing like, probably the closest point of reference is Half-Life Alyx, a game that was built for VR from the ground up, but it is also a lot smoother and crisper.
I think it's important to note that this was built for a mobile chip framework. The Qualcomm Snapdragon that's inside the Quest 2, where Half-Life Alyx could really take advantage of Intel AMD processors and NVIDIA GPUs. ATI cards. So it's like the Source 2 engine, I believe is what it's called, is definitely different than whatever engine we're seeing here. I think this is UE4. I'm not entirely sure.
I think that's right. And another point to mention is you'll notice that every now and then the camera snaps to third person and then goes back to first. Yeah, there's no disorientation. There's no disorientation when you're wearing the headset. I was a little concerned about that before I played, but
yeah,
it is smooth and seamless when you're wearing the goggles.
Oh. I would actually hate it if it actually made you spin with that kick when you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
or just like any spinning at all. Like there'd be a lot more vomit involved in this game.
I think the way it pans out it seems like they factored in comfort settings for that.
Yeah, it feels really good. It feels natural. You can't shoot those guys, which made me burn through a lot of ammo when I was first playing this game way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, TJ is heading to.
Yes, the time-old tradition of shooting zombies in the knees.
Yes. This is the first. I would argue this is the first Resident Evil game where the knife was actually worth any value at all. Like, in the old games, you have a knife, but it's so slow and so weak that if you run out of ammo and you're stuck with the knife, you may as well just reload or start over. Mm-hmm. Not the case in RE4. The knife is your best friend.
I'm sending you a playing manual.
Hope you find it useful. I never played RE4. I mean, I recognize it as one of the better games in the series by all accounts, but I'm looking forward to the likely remake that's coming down the pipe here soon.
It was a magical time on the Nintendo GameCube, Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not even one of those deals where like, oh, this came out before I was born. I remember when RE4 came out. I was like 7 or 8, and that was not happening. No shot.
No, you were too young to be playing this game.
No shot. My brother liked all that stuff, but I was like, yeah, no, thank you. I will go upstairs and get on my Game Boy or DS or whatever the hell was out at that point.
Right.
So one of my features in this game is this wristwatch, which tells you when you have, how long you've been playing the game, and also the date and time, which is super helpful when you're
that's nice.
You want to know what time it is in the real world.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a gun drawn, it tells you how much bullets are in the gun and how many you have in reserve.
So it serves as a HUD, basically.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's health too.
Bottom is your.
That makes sense. I was actually curious how they were going to handle that because static HUDs in VR suck.
Yes.
So yeah, it does seem like the hands, especially that concept of like flipping your wrist up at yourself, has been used in several games to provide information down there. I think Alex may use like the guns themselves to have some kind of ammo stats around them.
Right.
They've killed my guy over there. So I like to make a statement for this particular part by killing one of their chickens right out of the gate.
That's chickens.
That gets that starts the action.
Yeah.
You killed my guy, I'll kill your chicken.
Oh no, that chicken escaped, and now they're all pissed at you for the attempted murder of that chicken, which is probably almost as bad.
8 Cleveland Browns test positive for COVID, or are on the COVID list.
Northeast Ohio is staying true
on fire right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the NFL, they said they had their biggest single day. It was like 37 positive cases yesterday in the NFL.
Yeah.
Among players and coaches.
Yeah. Oh, nice shot.
That was great.
Was pretty good.
That was a good,
yeah, this is I would say if you ever have a chance to play RE4 VR, Donovan, that's a great way to play it. And the remake will be great too. But this is probably the best version of RE4 I've ever played, and I have literally played all of them because I've given Capcom a ton of money over the years. So
yeah,
there are cutscenes, kind of.
Yeah, but you can skip them. But while you're wearing the goggles, the headset, you get this giant theater-sized screen, so they're kind of fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember early on when they were showcasing VR, they're like, "Here's a giant screen TV in front of you," and I was like, "Okay, can it play Rocket League?" And they're like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay." That was like one of the first demos I ever did.
That's cool.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I want to get into VR sometime next year, hopefully. This would definitely be on my list of games to pick up, but I know I'll probably struggle with the first person of it all. I don't know, something about first person horror I get spooked out, but all the third person stuff I can play.
I would say this game is less horror than most of the other RE games. I think this is more of an action game.
Yeah. And it is, but in VR, like we were talking about this during our deliberations, Asif. Yeah, like the horror aspects of it are there, but they're amplified right when you're in the game, you know.
Sure, the first person perspective, being immersed in it. But like, I guess we talked about this too during our deliberations, David. Like, having played this game and knowing all the story beats, like, I'm less likely to be shocked or surprised by it. You know? And I think that leads to panic and people being afraid in VR. So it's like one of these games where it kind of works perfectly. I still think there's moments in Half-Life Alyx that I was legitimately afraid. Because like I had not experienced it before. They use darkness really well in that game.
They do.
That contrast of light and dark. Okay, that zombie with a chainsaw coming at you was pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure the audio doesn't help.
No, it does not. That dude's name, here's some RE4 lore, is named Dr. Salvador. I don't know why, but that is his name. Dr. Salvador, chainsaw surgeon, I guess.
That was wild. Yeah, I'd probably be scared shitless. People told me Village wasn't scary, and I couldn't even finish that game. But
this is kind of what I was talking about, Asif. If you know that, like this, you remember this Village part. It's one of the most iconic moments in RE4.
Yeah, sure.
It's basically introducing you to what the game is going to be, the style of combat and evasion, and
that
headshot though. This is what I mean about this game not pulling punches like a lot of VR shooters might. Like the pace is just as frenetic and in your face as it is if you were playing the traditional game with a controller. And I really like that. You know, that's kind of an experience I was looking for, and this game delivers that.
Key differentiator from Alyx is that this game has melee combat.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was really one of my major negatives for Alyx, was that there was no crowbar.
Right.
Oh no.
What have you done?
You'll see.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a one-hit kill.
What the hell?
It's a chainsaw through your neck. One-hit kill.
Yep. That was a perfect bad where that guy grabbed me and then the chainsaw guy happened to be right
chainsaw
there.
To my neck. My only weakness. It's like,
Leon is a badass.
Can we get F's in the chat for TJ's head? So I will say that panning out to the third person perspective for the decapitation is probably wise, because it would be pretty horrifying to like have your head cut off in first person.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could see that.
Yeah. Oh my. Some of that guy would fall down, but he didn't. So many times.
Oh yeah, he's just staggering up there. One of the things I did when I played through this game was experiment with shortcuts. Like you can, what TJ's doing, just kind of adds to the immersion. You can reach for an item, grab it, and pull it into yourself. You can also, like by the end of the game, when I was in these really frantic situations, if you just grab with the trigger and release, the item disappears and automatically goes into your inventory.
You
so
know
there are.
One of my issues with interaction in that way in this game is.
What's that?
Sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes, when you grab a grenade and just try to let it go and have it in your inventory, it instead throws the.
I'm very careful with grenades because that has happened to me too. Yeah, you can accidentally drop it right at your feet and then you run really fast or you die.
Maybe someday I'll stream an RE game so you can just see the spectacular ways that I die.
Yeah, stream RE2 remake.
Yeah, that's the one that I've watched you play it. You know, I've watched you beat it, but I haven't beaten it myself.
I want to stream the RE2 remake VR mod. That is my jam right there. I'm excited about that.
Oh Jesus! It's right there.
It's just like, hello.
Oh man, that was good.
That's a really good example of the enemies just being on you in this game.
Yeah. They're not like slow lumbering characters. Yeah, that's definitely a key differentiator from Alex. Man, Leon really just likes jumping out of windows.
Yeah.
Long before PUBG made it cool.
Long before. Yeah, this was the game. Not only is there just more action in this game, but they basically turned Leon into an action hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like getting pushed down pits and firing grappling hooks and swinging. He's like Batman or Spider-Man or something down there. He's got all the moves. So you can here in the inventory. So you don't actually have to go in there too much. At the beginning of the game, it's more important because if you remember, your attaché case is really small. So you have to play some inventory Tetris to work all the items in. But while you're in that inventory screen, what TJ did is you can equip, one-handed gun, a grenade, a healing item, and a two-handed weapon. And as long as you have ammo for the guns you selected and more grenade and healing types of the type that you chose, you don't have to go back to that inventory screen until you completely run out of that type.
So TJ, when you're using the shotgun, are you holding out with two hands?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting balance. Like you can shoot the two-handed guns with one hand, but you get more kickback, so it's harder to control, which was a nice little touch.
Yeah. Interesting.
A lot of shots to kill that man.
Yes. It's worth it, though, for that ruby he drops.
Shoot him in the ACL. That's the way. Season-ended injuries here. That's what we're looking for.
Triple H-in.
Killed him. Good.
Oh, great. Another player on my fantasy team has COVID. His name's Odell Beckham Jr.
Your entire roster is like out sick at this point.
You know what's crazy, David? I made the playoffs in both leagues.
Oh, really?
Despite my entire team conspiring against me.
This time I'm gonna do a smart move. Watch this.
Yeah, I've played the I don't know. I drafted really heavy on running backs, So I had like 4 starting running backs basically. That proved to be a wise move. My weak point has been quarterback. Uh-oh, here comes Duper. I think I'm gonna have to go feed her, guys.
Come on.
Okay.
Come
Hi,
after me.
Lola. Are you hungry?
Oh, it's a little past that time.
Is it dinner time?
Where are they at? Are they not coming up?
They won't come up, but they will throw Molotov cocktails up at you after a while.
Ouch.
Oh, she used spin attack.
Oh, spin attack. It's super effective.
Here it comes. I will be back later, guys.
All right, man.
I appreciate this stream. Thank you for showing us this.
Yeah, TJ's doing excellent.
Clearly a candidate for best VR of the year here at Shacknews.
Definitely.
Okay, well, they don't make HMDs that fit her head, so she's not feeling this.
If they did, that spin attack would clear out all the zombies.
Can you imagine Lola with a little VR headset playing Duper
VR.
Are you sure? Is it their time? Oh. Okay.
Oh. Oh yeah. She's chiming in, or I can hear her actually.
Okay, Lola. I'll be back.
Donovan, what do you think of this so far, Donovan?
I'm digging it. I'm always fascinated by VR shooters. I think they're a whole lot of fun. A very limited experience with it, but
yeah,
I don't know. And as I mentioned, the RE franchise is one that I've tried to catch up on in my young adult years. Now that I can appreciate it much more than I would have probably ever before.
I could see that. Yeah, you're in a good position where you're getting to play, in many cases, the best versions of these games because the remakes are of such high quality. Splash.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's your last stand, TJ. Hold that fence. Hold the fence. Hold the fence. Oh, you did.
Oh, nice. Cutscene.
I gotta be coming up on the end of this segment.
And in this game, Leon's like going to save someone's daughter, right?
The president's daughter. Yeah.
Of course.
He went from one of the only survivors of Raccoon City to somehow joining like the secret service. Yeah. And learning in the meantime, he learned how to like dive through windows and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. You pick that stuff up along the way.
You do. Everybody learns that.
Resident Evil.
I've confirmed the body of an officer.
Still one of the greatest openings in video games of all time. What do you think, TJ? How does it hold up?
One of the best video game openings.
Yeah.
I think few games put off like a big feel of how different it is from the previous games, and also just like intensity right out of the gate with this one.
Right.
But
absolutely,
I agree. Just because of the fact that you have so many weapons. No.
So TJ, do you think that, like, for me, being able to use a gun and the knife at the same time changed my interaction with combat in this game? I don't know if it was as like huge, as eye-opening of an experience as it for you as it was for me, but I love that aspect of this version.
Mm-hmm. It does. It makes combat that much more immersive, in my opinion. Oh, hi. Oops. That's the absolute worst when you line up the shot and then their head just jerks slightly enough.
Yeah. So this that's actually a good point to mention. Resident Evil 4 introduced the director AI. Similar name is Left 4 Dead's director, where basically the better you do in this game, the higher the difficulty raises. It can go from 1 to 4. So
really?
yeah, so and that's even in the remakes too. You might have noticed, Donovan, in the remake, like if you were getting a lot of headshots, the zombies would move faster, they would move more erratically. That's because the AI detected that you're doing too well, and so it wants to throw you off. But the more shots you miss, the more damage you take. That actually lowers the difficulty, and the AI director has been in use in the franchise since RE4.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see something.
And that's if you play on professional modes. I think in the RE2 and 3 remakes, it's called like hardcore difficulty. The directors basically set it 10 from the start and cannot be lowered, even if you just get your ass kicked in every encounter.
Oh, geez. There it is. Why wouldn't it... That's fine. Felt like I was hitting him in the face, but... Hi.
There's one, TJ, you've played a lot of VR games, especially shooters like The Walking Dead, Half-Life Alyx. If there's one area you wish this game would have done a little better, or something they should have added that maybe those other games didn't do, is there anything like that you were thinking, like, man, if they'd only included this, it would be even better than it already is?
As far as would I would have wanted it in this game, or would I have wanted it in those other games?
In this game.
More melee weapons. That's a big part of what makes Saints and Sinners so fun, is the baseball bats and machetes and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So good in that game.
For sure.
Like, I would like
with that.
to work from a villager and stab another villager with it.
That would be great. The way this game turned out has me hoping they'll bring even more RE games to VR. I know RE5 is not a popular entry, and I agree it's a terrible RE game, but it's actually, somewhat ironically, my favorite co-op game of all time. And Amy I got her a Quest 2 as well, and we were talking the other night, like if RE5 was on the Quest 2, we would just constantly be bumping into each other playing that in the living room.
Would that be your next pick if you had to pick another entry in the franchise to get the VR treatment?
Honestly, yeah, because it has a lot of expansive environments like RE4. It plays a lot like RE4. It's just more bombastic, but that sort of thing. It's a sort of game that it had even fewer horror moments, but they would be scarier in VR just by virtue of the fact that the enemies are coming at you and in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love RE5 in VR. That's definitely what I would pick next. Especially because I really see kind of a dearth of co-op VR games. They're either single player or those that have multiplayer or online. It would be cool to have a situation or a game where you could do co-op with someone in the same room. I actually have to cooperate. That's the other thing. I mean, there are multiplayer VR games, but a lot of them are competitive. And like Amy and I love RE5. We've played that on several platforms as well. And like VR, we would have a total blast with that. She actually saved that game for me. I was playing it single player, and it is not a good way to play that game because the AI is terrible and the story is bad even for RE games. And I was actually going to take it to GameStop and just trade it in. And she's like, "Oh, if it's not that scary, I'll play with you." And by the end of the night, we were both like having a blast, and we, completed it, unlocked all the secret weapons and stuff.
David, did you see the RNG on that guy just now? He got shotgun shot.
I know, that's wild.
One thing is that like the boxes, I think, are the boxes randomized? No, some of them aren't.
Some of them aren't, some of them are. I think that is where the director comes in. Like if you're doing badly, you'll get more ammo. If you're doing better, you'll get less, that sort of thing. But there are definitely, TJ, speaking to your point, there are definitely some item boxes in this game that you'll always get the same item no matter how you're doing.
Yeah. Like some of those ones at the beginning, like that crow, for instance, right? That crow
Right.
always...
Exactly.
Rumsteady mentioned, keep talking, nobody explodes. That game looks fun.
Yeah, I've heard that's a good time too. I suppose what I mean by more multiplayer in VR is I think until the last few years when we gotten ports of like Skyrim and RE4 VR and Half-Life Alyx, there were a few like full-size video games. A lot of VR games felt like they were either a series of mini games or meant to be played, like 15, 20 minutes, almost tech demos. That's pretty reductive, but I don't mean it that way. But one thing, yeah, like so, like this game, this is Resident Evil 4, the full game, 20-hour experience in VR, and so we're just kind of looking for more stuff like that. But I think that VR has been on a roll in that regard lately.
Yeah, he does.
This area was a lot of fun to play in VR because you're getting into like they have tripwires, they have, I think, some of the bear traps around here. Maybe I'm thinking of another area. You've got guys throwing dynamite sticks at you. There's just a lot going on. So they're starting to test all the systems you've learned so far, which is always fun. Yeah, like TJ, he's in the live stream, he's hiding behind a tree. It's the stuff you really couldn't do effectively in the traditional game because like there was actually no way to stray from side to side. So if you were behind a tree, you were pretty much firing just from behind, like straight from behind that tree.
You can also raise the gun up and do things that you wouldn't be able to normally do. Like, and
yeah, that's true. I think you fire the same way, or I actually I fire the same way Leon fires in RE2. Like I brace my left arm as if I'm holding a flashlight. I rest my right arm, my primary arm, on top of it to steady your aim, because that actually makes a difference in this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing when I do this.
Is it? Okay, I couldn't tell, but yeah, I was like, I think TJ's doing it.
Usually, if I'm going for combat, I'll have the knife out and I'll rest it like this.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go. That position, I started doing that in the shooting gallery. Some of those challenges, the shooting gallery in this game is amazing. It's so much fun, but some of the challenges are so tough. You have to hit every target and the bonuses. And the only way I could do it was by resting my shooting arm on my off arm to get that precision aiming. It was really fun.
Because I actually was able to clear most of the shooting gallery in my first try. I
got all of my first try except for it was one of the handguns, like the second or third handgun.
Blacktail?
It was the Blacktail. It was the Blacktail. That one was tough for me for some reason.
Oh, he must have killed himself. That's funny.
They can do that. Like if they light their fuse, but you knock them down, like there is actually a fuse and it will detonate even if they don't get to throw it at you.
Give me all the loot.
All the loots, all the time. So TJ, there's more. I think one complaint you and I both had was that when this game launched in, I believe it was October, it launched with the full campaign, but it didn't have any of the extra modes like mercenaries. But that content is coming, right?
Yes, that's one thing that they announced earlier this. That's one thing they announced earlier this year is, or like a little bit ago, was that mercenaries is going to be added in a free update for the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope they continue that and add like separate ways, assignment ADA. I think those are the only two modes that'll be missing after mercenaries. Those would probably take a lot more work, but man, like this game is selling really well. I don't think Capcom, Armature, or Facebook have disclosed numbers, but it has sold like in the hundreds of thousands of units within the first. It sold that many within like the first couple weeks, and that is almost unheard of for VR games. So it's doing really well.
Yeah, and it speaks to your point earlier about something to motivate them to do this for more games in the series, hopefully.
Yeah, like one reason I held off on VR so long was that I was impressed with the tech, but I mean anyone who plays games know that a box is just a box unless you have good software to play on it, right? Like you need the games.
Yep.
I love the typewriter in this game. It's so tactile.
Yes, it's great.
You get to switch things. You turn the wheel. The save state.
Man, oh man.
Is that a side duck I hear?
Side duck. I'm afraid to turn my camera on. My computer is like chugging along right now, like broadcasting all this stuff.
Oh, Romsteady says you just want to punch a boulder. You're right, Romsteady. That is why I want RE5 in VR. I want to just pummel a boulder.
Yeah.
As Chris Roydfield is wont to do.
My field of different Leons.
That's right.
Leonstonople is my favorite so far.
Leonstonople, Leonopolis,
Leonoclast.
How about Leonardo?
I guess. Sure.
The most boring Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, he really is. No, that's just a hard truth.
He had swords.
And his color Raphael is the best. The best of the best.
Pretty good. I was always a Donatello guy.
Donatello's great too.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's my name.
Michael is the most skilled among them because wielding nunchucks is difficult by itself. He wields nunchucks and wisecrack at the same time.
Yeah.
Man, so you want? Okay, we might lose audio for a second when I turn my camera back on, so I'm not gonna turn my camera on for now.
Okay.
But you know what's fun, and David, I feel like this is something that you and Asif would point to as a reason to go digital. Is I did the thing where I went like I'm playing Ratchet and Clank next, right? So I'm like, oh,
yes,
I'll go and get my copy of Ratchet and Clank out of its case. I open the Ratchet and Clank game, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater is in.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then I go to open Tony Hawk, and my copy of Guilty Gear is in there.
Oh.
Like, so finally Guilty Gear.
Aces, you're a monster.
I'm horrible because I'm just like I'll put the game that's in the case here in. Or, I'll put the game that's in, like, the drive in the case that I have in my hands. Yeah, so I'm kind of insane sometimes.
Okay.
But it's a fun little, like, breadcrumb game that I play with myself.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, oh, I played this.
The mystery.
Before that I played this, and then, yeah.
What a precious memories, all of them, David.
What?
You're kidding.
What? God damn, my headphones are acting up. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're all right. Yeah, RM Squires, TJ is playing. I'm here just to chat with him because, as TJ can attest, this game is immersive and engrossing enough that you can't exactly carry on a full conversation while swatting away hatchets with a knife and shooting zombies in the head. It's just tough to do that,
And actually, oops. There we go. I had to recenter everything.
Let us give you our power.
They're shooting ivermectin into me.
Oh, no.
You will soon tell everybody that you got the vaccine when really you didn't, and then it will become weak.
Yeah, this is some Bill Gates 5G he's being injected with right here.
Dude,
The highest quality 5G for Leon Kennedy.
that's how those characters were able to follow him around so much. They had him tracked.
That's exactly it, Donovan. That's exactly it. Bill Gates, man.
You want to tell me what's going on here?
Oh, that's right. See, we're making connections here. We're getting into some Resident Evil lore right now.
That's pretty.
I'm sorry, folks. It looks like Discord just crashed for me. I'm going to bring back the gang here in just a second, though. Don't you worry about it. We're going to get him back. Just believe in me. I will bring them back. In the meantime, wow, look at TJ. How good is he at Resident Evil? He is so good.
He's the best.
Oh my god. Wait, you guys are still there and Discord like crashed.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah.
That's so weird. It crashed. Let me get it just on the RTMP screen for now, since nobody can see you guys.
And here's one of those motion QuickTime events I was talking about, which like I like them. They're okay, but you can also turn them off, which I enjoy as well.
That's so weird. You guys are still here, right? Well, maybe not now. Okay. I'm bringing them back, don't worry. Discord's starting back up, and it should drop everyone back in.
Used to be a cop myself. Only for a day. I thought I was bad. Somehow I managed to get myself involved with the incident in Raccoon City on my first day in the force. That is the incident with the viral outbreak, right?
Just a one-man show. But at least the gameplay is still going. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I would love that. That'd be great.
Let's see.
The one thing, so we kind of talked about this earlier when we were talking about what RE game. I think Donovan asked me what RE game I'd like to see in VR next, and I do wonder if the success of this game will prompt more developers to port classic games to VR. It's happening with GTA San Andreas, and Resident Evil 4 can't take credit for that because that was already in the works. But I think this is. I think the Quest 2 would be a great platform for that. It's not the most capable or most powerful VR headset around, but you can easily take like PS2, GameCube, Xbox, OG era games and do justice to them in virtual reality.
Guys,
That'd be really cool.
I'm really sorry about that. Discord crashed for me for a moment, so we lost you
But
guys.
you're back.
Oh, but the good news is the stream didn't drop.
Nope.
So,
Look at that guy over there.
Snap.
hello, neighbor. Would you like?
It's the merchant.
Would you
There's
like some
our
sugar?
friend.
I am your neighbor.
Stranger.
Stranger danger.
Now that's a weapon.
I need a computer upgrade. Oh, Squires. I probably do. You're probably right.
Something that might interest you.
But,
TJ,
you know-
what would you say to a campaign where you're the merchant, or merchants is the case? Maybe I don't know if there's more than one of them or not.
On sale, stranger.
I would be okay with that.
What about a campaign where you play as Natalie Merchant?
Oh, what about a campaign where you're the chickens and you have to lay eggs to help Leon while he fights?
Oh man, but what if it was the chickens from The Legend of Zelda?
Oh, and you could call in like other chickens
Yeah.
from a posse? Oh
Chicken
shit, I'm on
attack.
board with this. Oh, I'm on board with this. This is great.
Where is it? I gotta get me that sweet rifle because
Yep.
it's David's favorite weapons in this game as far as the VR goes.
Yep. Definitely.
Actually, I'm gonna need to get some space first.
My a personal challenge for me, because I've started this on professional. I'm going to stick with the bolt action rifle, no upgrading to the semi-auto for all of professional. So that should be fun.
Low key, the TMP though is maybe the best all around weapon in this game.
Definitely. definitely. Best special upgrade too, I think. Romsteady says the amount of rights issues for a lot of the older games would be a nightmare, but some would be nice, like Fatal Frame. I agree. You know, there'd be a lot of licensing issues to navigate, but if the commercial success of RE4 VR is any indicator, there's a lot of incentive for publishers to get on board with it, as long as it's done right. You know, you need a studio like Armature who's willing to put in the work to create as bespoke an experience for the VR as possible. Mm-hmm. I've talked to TJ about this before, but when RE4 VR was announced early this year, I completely dismissed it. As much as I love RE4, and as much as it really is one of the most important games of all time, I had played it on so many systems that I was just like, VR, another port, I'm good. But they've put in so much work that it's really not a port. It feels tailored to virtual reality. And I think any other classic games that make their way to any VR platform, Rift, Vive, Index, whatever, would have to be given that same level of TLC to succeed. Yeah, I'm really curious about San Andreas. Like, I really hope that's good because that's still my favorite GTA game. So I have high hopes for that. RM Squire says, when is RE4 HD texture mod release date? For the PC version, RM Squires, I believe that the entire game has been fully remastered by that fan group. For VR, one thing I said early in the stream is that what you're seeing here from TJ's capture, it may look like, you know, graphics from 2005, but when you're wearing the HMD, the graphics in game are a lot better. VR is just one of those things where you have to see it for yourself, not only to understand what it's like to play VR games and be in that world, but also to get an idea of how the visuals actually look.
I'm gonna have some fun with this rifle for a second.
Yes.
There it is.
Nice. So I love this rifle because since it's bolt action, you actually do need to lower it, pull back, ready another shot, and it just feels so good in VR. This is one example of Armature just going above and beyond and making sure it feels like a proper VR game. There's so many weapons in RE4, and it feels like they each did get a lot of care and attention in their implementation.
Yes, this is one of the things that I've talked about a lot during game of the year deliberations, is just how different every weapon feels and how good it feels to interact with them.
Yeah, like in my first playthrough of RE4 VR, I made a point of going for weapons I didn't usually use just because I wanted to compare and contrast them. And the shooting gallery is perfect for that. By the end of the game, you get to use every single weapon in the shooting gallery for free, you know, not having to purchase any of them, waste your hard-earned pesos. So it's just, there's so much fun to use.
There it is. Oh, I didn't know he was in here.
Ow.
Yeah, I got messed up there.
So TJ, when you play, I'm still a relatively new Quest 2 user. I bought a pair of headphones with mine, but I also tried the surround sound built into the headset. Do you like to use the headset, or do you wear a pair of headphones?
Actually, let the headset work because I like the sound on it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep experimenting with that. I like it too. I just wanted to compare a little bit.
Jeez.
Getting mobbed.
I want that.
Farmers literally with torches and pitchforks coming at you right now.
Right. behind me. Oh! Couldn't move out of the way of that. Oh, that pistol ammo, give it to me. So I got there. I'm gonna pop his melon.
Oh, you did too.
What the hell? Oh, you!
Whew. Alright, back on camera. Sorry to deny the world my beauty for so long.
There he is. The inspiration, an in-game model for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Blake Morris is back with it.
Yeah, you know, as I go in there, I suppose I say this is a very majestic Viking pose.
That's right.
And I go like this. I say, I'm going to kill you, you Visigoth. And
it's like you are a Viking right there.
It really is. It's like my ancestry comes from Viking land or something like that. Who would have thought? But take
making
those
his way to the
off.
ring from Viking land, Blake.
I like to think of it more like the 80s movies when like there's like a nerdy kid and then they take their glasses off, but like instead of being like beautiful, I'm a Viking.
Your beard suddenly appears and they're like, wow,
I never noticed Blake's a pretty Viking guy. Wow. Yeah, he really does. I have a beard.
His beard is very red.
Because I want to use...
Man. Sorry, what were you saying, TJ?
I said I'm going to jump over to a late part in the game that I kept track of.
Awesome.
All right.
Which, David...
Strut your stuff a little bit? Yes.
First off, there's my perfectly organized attaché case with all my good weapons in it.
Ooh la la. Yeah, we got...
I love that organization.
A spot for shotgun, spot for magnum goes down here because it's special.
Yes.
Something along the bottom, grenades along the right part.
I stick with I think you have the broken butterfly. I usually stick with that magnum too, just because you can get that free one from the castle.
Oh yeah. 44 magnum.
Boom.
Gun ever made.
I do love reloading ammo in that gun in this game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah, there we go.
But I wanted to show off this part in particular because it's probably one of the most annoying parts in the game as far as the QuickTime events goes.
Yeah.
And like, I don't turn off the QuickTime events, but if I was going to, I would do it here because I
What's the news?
the knife fight with Krauser so much as far as
Sadler's got it.
I hate Krauser. He felt like just padding.
Just so we understand each other clearly.
He's just a big old exposition dump. It always has been.
I will kill you.
Is that so? You know, I'm at West.
They're talking and fighting like, hey, Leon, it's been a while. Since that helicopter crash? Yeah, I bet you thought I died. You know, I did. Well, I didn't. I see that. Like, what the fuck? Just move on.
There you go. You're in the spooky woods now? Where are we? Spooky cabin?
We're on an island in a giant manufacturing plant, Blake.
Welcome to Spooky Island.
That's right.
City Fire. Or 6.
Oh,
West, you feeling lucky, punk?
well, yeah.
Okay then.
RM Squires, TJ, you can address this, and then I can if you're concentrating. TJ, is this game in VR much easier than regular RE4?
Yes and no. I feel like they throw more enemies at you to compensate for the fact that it's even in VR at every level.
Yeah, I think yes and no is a good answer. Like RM Squires, you can do certain things in this game movement-wise that are literally impossible in traditional versions of RE4. For example, earlier in the stream, we were talking about you can fire two-handed weapons with one hand, which is actually how I ended up killing a lot of the Las Plagas. Like if a head popped and a Plagas popped out right in front of me, I would just grab the rifle while the animation was still playing, and then just press the rifle right up to the Plagas and shoot it. No scope required, and it felt good. You feel like a badass, but it's obviously easier to dispose of than Capcom probably ever intended. You can also do things like you can circle strafe in this game, like you could in any other FPS, and the enemies definitely are not equipped to handle that. But there are options, like you can enable classic movement to play the game the way it was played on analog sticks in its heyday. So
TJ, the gameplay is getting pretty choppy here.
Oh.
So I think we should just get going over to our next title, which is gonna be me playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Fair enough.
Are y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Well done, TJ.